Seeing double? Hi, it's Susan and welcome to Zoho Quick Tips. Don't you just hate those duplicates that you find in your database? They're pretty easy to get rid of. We can get rid of them en masse, or we can get rid of them with just a few at a time. Let's see how easy it is. I've started by creating an artificial list of duplicates that I have in a view right here. The first one is Bill Gates. He has the exact same fields, except for they were created at different times. The next one is Millicent. Her emails are exactly her record, is exactly the same, but it has different record owners. Lance, I have 3 of him. Notice they all have the same email address, but they all have different fields. This one has a title, this one has address information, so we'll look at how it's going to combine the 3 and we can pull elements from each of those fields. John Doe is pretty much the same, except that in one case there is an email and in the other case there isn't. Jane is the same with the exception of she changed companies, but somebody didn't update her email address, which is fine. And then finally, support, it is exactly the same with the exception of the fact that the phone number is formatted slightly differently. So let's take a look at how Zoho combines duplicates, first of all, en masse. So we can take it doesn't have to be a list of duplicates like I have here. You can be all duplicates. It's not going to look at a view that you have. We're just going to click on this little ellipsis button at the top here, and I'm going to say deduplicate leads. And notice I've got 13 in my list right here for right now. So I'm going to say deduplicate leads. It's going to be looking at every lead in the database. So in this screen, it says, select the fields you want to identify duplicate leads. You can do a maximum of 3. I'm not really sure exactly. It will only pick one field at a time. It implies that you can say dedupe based on email and phone or email and company name. But for some reason it doesn't work that way. So we're just going to pick email and say find and merge duplicates. Now, obviously, if we were doing like accounts, you'd want to be deduplicating by company name or something like that. But anyway, I'm going to say find and merge duplicates. It's just telling you here that it's going to auto merge records if all of the values of the records are the same. And then at the end, it'll present some options where it thought there were duplicates, but it didn't want to do it because all of the fields weren't exact. So I'm just, of course, going to say yes, proceed. And it'll say it's going to take a few minutes, so I'm just going to click OK. When the dedupe is finished, I will get an email, and I will also get a pop-up like I did just then. It said 1 lead was merged successfully and a few duplicates were found. I'm guessing that the William is going to be the only one that was deduped. So let's just refresh the screen here very quickly. Okay, let's take a look at the email I got in my inbox. It says deduplication is successful, and it tells me that out of I have 3,800 leads, it resolved 1, and it still has a few others that it needs to resolve, and it's going to prompt me for that. So let's go back and look at what that looks like. So all I'm going to do is say resolve now. And it's going to take those emails that were there and prompt me to resolve them. So let's start with the first one. Notice, remember that support was exactly the same except for the phone number. So I'm just going to click on view here. And I always take the highest record. The number that's the highest record here will be the one that has the oldest date. So I always want to maintain the oldest date for when the record entered my system. So notice it gives me options. The only thing that's different it recognizes is the phone number. So I just get to choose. It's exactly the same. It was just a formatting issue. There's no other options to choose. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and click merge. It's important to know that when you merge records, that all the attachments, notes, any associated records will automatically be merged into one record. If you had activities or anything else, everything will be merged onto the one record. I'm going to pick another easier one, Jane, here, and click hers view. Again, I'm going to take record 2. Notice that she just changed companies. And so this is the newest record, so I'm going to leave it at ABC, and there won't be anything else to check all the way through. I can come back later and look at possibly updating her email address. So I'm going to click merge there. Finally, I have this one where there are 3 duplicates. So I'm going to click view. Again, I'm taking the oldest record. Notice that it's going to show all of the different values in each of the records. I can choose among them. So I can say this is where he's president. I would guess that this is a direct line since doesn't look like a trunk line. I can scroll down and see if there are other fields that need to be changed. This looks like the same thing, so it's probably the same. I like this zip code better. Don't see anything else I need to choose, so I am going to click merge. So all 3 of those records will be left. Now it says I have no more duplicate leads. So I'm going to go back to leads here and see now I've got 8. Let's look at the 2 that are left. Why didn't it merge Millicent? It didn't merge Millicent because Millicent doesn't have an email address. So I'm just going to click on Millicent, and if I want to merge a single one, I'm just going to click on the ellipsis again while I'm looking at Millicent's record, and I'm going to pick this option, find and merge duplicates. And I can look and I can see there's this record and this record are probably the ones that need to be merged, and I'm going to click next. Again, you can select more than 2 if you need to. I'm going to pick this one. By the way, whichever record you pick is also going to maintain the lead owner as well as the create time. Everything else is pretty much the same, or it's exactly the same, and I'm going to click merge. Finally, I had that one record where one of them had an email and the other didn't. So I usually, when I start, I'll take the record. If I know there's 2 of them, I'll take the record with the least number of actual values because it'll be easier to find. Let me show you, for example, I'm going to pick this one that has the email address. And when I try to find and merge duplicates there, what it does is it finds lots of Johns. Here's one John without an email. It's kind of hard to find. If I want to be more specific, sometimes I can say, I don't care whether it has a company name, I don't care whether it has a phone number, I don't care whether it has, let's say I want to match all of the criteria. I just kind of pick which ones I want, and I'm going to click search, and of course there's only one of them because the one record did not have an email address. So now I'm going to search, and I said find everything that just says John Doe. I don't care what any of the other fields say. And so it helped me find those 2. So I'm going to select them and click next. And of course, again, pick record 2. And it's pretty much going to select any field that is blank in one and not in the other. It's going to pick the field that has a value to it. So I'm going to click merge. So now I'm down to the 7, and those are the ones I've just got. Let me refresh here. There we go. Now I'm down to the 6. Sometimes you have to refresh so it doesn't pick it up right away. And those are represent the 12 duplicates that I had before. As always, just remember that if you want to do mass dedupe, it's click here and click deduplicate. If I want to do a single deduplicate, I click on the record and click here and do find and merge duplicates. Remember that it's good to know that doing the mass dedupe is not available in the free edition. You have to be in a paid edition to do that. Deduplication can be done for leads, contacts, accounts, and vendors only. Any items that have been merged, the extra records are deleted, and keep in mind that cannot be undone. Thanks for watching. If you found this tip helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. You should also subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified when I upload more tips. As always, if you need help in using or customizing your own Zoho CRM or even in training your team, give us a shout. You can find our contact info in the information box below. Have a great week.